Let me tell you, I never thought I'd end up the star of a modern-day turf war out in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas. But that's what happens when you trade in city noise for a little slice of so-called peace. You know what I mean? I wanted a place where the loudest sound was the wind through the pines, not a neighbor firing up a leaf blower or some clipboard warrior from an HOA breathing down my neck about mailbox paint or the length of my grass. Instead, I got a front row seat to a showdown so ridiculous sometimes I catch myself laughing just thinking about how it all started. The first sign of trouble came on a Tuesday. I'd been at my new place, a crooked old cabin with more personality than plumbing, maybe 6 weeks, just long enough to start feeling like the world had finally stopped spinning. My dog Banjo and I spent our evenings on the porch listening to coyotes and watching the stars come out, the kind of quiet that heals your brain. So when Banjo started growling at the sky, I figured maybe he'd caught a whiff of a hawk or something. Nope. There was a drone bright white humming just above the tree line like some mechanical hornet. I watched it for a minute, then shrugged, figured maybe some city kid was hiking nearby playing with a new toy. The next morning there was another drone closer, lower, bolder. Banjo tore after it, barking like he was auditioning for sheriff, but it zipped off. That was weird, sure, but it didn't really click until I noticed these perfect little orange flags dotting the access road, spaced neat as chess pieces, leading right to my mailbox. Somebody was staking out my land, and they weren't subtle about it. I yanked every flag out and tossed them in the shed, thinking that'd be the end of it. Oh, how naive I was. That's when the hikers started showing up, snapping pictures, pretending not to see me, and then driving off. One couple even stood at the end of my driveway, arguing and pointing at my generator like they were casing the place for a home improvement heist. Then came the envelope taped to my gate with blue painter's tape stamped with the most smug logo you ever saw, Summit Pines HOA. The letter inside was pure bureaucratic poetry, calling for a voluntary environmental inspection, citing all kinds of regional ecological oversight. The kicker, I was not, nor had I ever been a member of their HOA. Voluntary, my foot. So I did what any sane person would do, wrote a letter. I attached my deed, my parcel number, even got a notarized affidavit saying I wasn't under any circumstances part of their precious club. Sent copies to the HOA, the county, and the sheriff figured that ought to set things straight. But see, when someone sticks a letter to your gate, what they're really saying is, get ready because we're coming whether you like it or not. Next day I called in a favor from Benji, an old forestry buddy who hates red tape even more than I do. He brought his GPS rod, I brought coffee, and we walked every inch of my property line, documenting those little incursions. Turns out those orange flags 4 feet inside my actual boundary. Not an accident, a land grab, plain and simple. We marked every violation, time-stamped the evidence, built a case thicker than a city phone book. That evening another drone came slicker, this time with a strobing red light. I stepped outside with a tactical flashlight and a shotgun, didn't fire, just lit it up bright enough to fry its sensors and watched it scuttle away. Next morning, there's another envelope on my gate, this one not even pretending to be friendly. Mandatory inspection. Tuesday, 9 a.m. sharp. So I call the number, get this clipped, chilly woman on the line. Summit Pines Association, she says. I tell her, you step on my land again, it's trespassing. She gives me the old, it's in everyone's best interest spiel, and I tell her, bring a clipboard, bring a priest. Then I hang up and prepare for round 2, cease and desist. Letter surveillance signs a 6-pack in the creek for moral support. I'm not looking for trouble, but if it wants to come up my mountain, I'll be waiting. Tuesday. Sure enough, a convoy rolls up, matte gray SUV HOA logo on the door, 2 private security goons in black shirts, and the queen herself, Karen Shaw, strutting like she owned the county. She's got a fleece vest, a face frozen in disapproval, and a clipboard army behind her. Banjo's barking, my shotgun's in hand, not aimed, just visible. I tell them, you're trespassing. I sent you 3 refusals. She sighs. All theater says the county's been notified, she's here to document hazards. I step off the porch, just 1 step, and 3 things happen. The inspector freezes. 1 guard reaches for his belt. Karen flinches and suddenly everyone's backing off, tripping over their own feet. After they hightail it, I find the inspector's tablet dropped in the dirt, still recording. I save the video, pour a coffee, and wait. Less than an hour later, Karen calls threatening legal action for brandishing a weapon and obstructing inspection. I hang up and call the sheriff. They show up cool as cucumbers. I give them everything: my deed, the footage, the cease and desist letters, the whole digital haystack. They watch the video, nod, and tell me I'm within my rights, trespassing plain and simple. For once, the law's on my side. But Karen doesn't let up. A couple days go by, then I get an email from a Sacramento law firm, Summit Pines HOA v. Charles McGraw. They want to sue me for militant behavior, property theft, and my favorite, psychological trauma to their inspection team. They even start a Facebook group warning the community about a dangerous neighbor, blurry screenshot of me and Banjo straight off the drop tablet. Things go from annoying to surreal fast. Then the county sends out code enforcement, a friendly guy confused as hell looking for hazardous fuel storage, septic issues, unlicensed firearms. I show him around, paperwork tight, everything by the book. He shrugs, says, "Looks like you're cleaner than the sheriff's cabin." That's when it hits me. This is a campaign, not a spat. They want to wear me down or trip me up. Time to fight fire with fire. I call in Dina Romero, a lawyer who eats HOA reps for breakfast. She's sharp, relentless, and in 72 hours she's got a countersuit drafted: trespass, harassment, defamation, malicious reporting, you name it. We leak the story to a local reporter, Mountain Man versus HOA, and within days the emails start pouring in. Turns out a lot of people have HOA horror stories, and a local veterans group offers support. Karen goes quiet, the Facebook group stops posting, but I know better. Snakes go quiet before they strike. Sure enough, I spot new survey flags, this time from a private firm. I go straight to the county assessor with all my evidence. He checks the logs, finds a bogus reassessment inquiry filed by, wait for it, a Summit Pines Community Initiative. Total garbage, and he flags it. The county issues a formal letter. My land is private, no HOA jurisdiction. We publish it in the paper, and for a minute it looks like I've won. But Karen fires back. Civil complaint court summons the works. Claims I stole HOA property, the tablet endangered staff, defamed the organization, even caused mental health deterioration. I reinforce security, put up more cameras, and start sleeping light. Soon after my mailbox is smashed, Banjo gets hit with dog repellent and shadowy figures show up at night. But one neighbor catches two guys poking around at 2:30 in the morning. I get them on camera, license plate and all. The sheriff opens an investigation, tells me the HOA is playing with fire. I tell him, "Don't worry, I've got the extinguisher." Then just when I think it can't get dumber, I get a real letter from the county, mandatory compliance inspection signed by an actual department head, but the language reeks of HOA meddling. I don't wait. I call in 3 independent inspectors. Former forestry guys, the real deal. All 3 reports come back clean, notarized, bulletproof. When the county inspector shows up alongside Karen, of course, I hand over the reports, GoPro running. The inspector's legit, sees my paperwork, says I'm clear. Karen tries to object, but this time the inspector tells her to step back. This is an official county assessment, not HOA. I nearly laugh out loud. But Karen's not finished. She files one last civil suit, demands damages, a forced easement through my land, the whole 9 yards. Courts packed, locals, reporters, even the deputy who'd first answered her 911 call. Her lawyers paint me as a menace, spin up wild stories about militant posture and hostile standoff. Dina tears them apart, plays the raw footage, submits the inspector's statement, and then drops the bomb, a memo from the assessor's office proving the HOA tried to fake a jurisdictional document. The judge isn't having it. He throws out every one of their claims, grants me $240,000 in damages, a restraining order against the HOA, and a formal declaration that my land is and always will be outside their grasp. Karen loses her presidency. The new board sends me a certified apology. I frame it. I hang a new sign at the foot of the driveway, private property. No trespassing, not now, not ever. HOA free zone. And just beneath in smaller letters, smile, you're on camera. And yes, it's still loaded. So let me ask you, where do you draw the line? Do you let folks with clipboards and good intentions steamroll your boundaries, or do you stand your ground even when it's easier to roll over? Drop a comment. Tell me who you think was in the right. And if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with an HOA yourself, I want to hear those stories. Out here, sometimes the only law that matters is the one you draw yourself.